Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. So once again, you're under the sounds of the voice of Kahan Tazadaq. This is your house work. So I'm going to jump right into this. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world today, and particularly against Jake. The deep state it's hard at work. It's hard at work. So the deep state, they have a war on Jake. They're using eugenics. They're using racism to divide all people. And those of you on the lower levels, you fall for the color game. You may as well name your last name Crayola. I mean, all of you that have all of this rage and hate in your heart, you're falling for the color game. But it's all strategically planned. You hate a foreigner that you don't even know simply because the color of his skin. I want you to muse over that for a second. So the deep state is at war, and the war is on the people. They have eugenics on Jake. They're using racism on the entire population for population control. Let's take, for example, Stefan the Don, Shaw. Let's take, for example, right? And as you come into the room, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, hit the like buttons. Let's take, for example, matter of fact, come on in, Shaw. I'm gonna send you a link to come on in the room, Shaw. Now, let's just take, for example, what's going on in Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County alleges that it has paid roughly $55 million in settlement cases for its sheriff's deputies who were alleged to belong to a secret society. And I contend that is true because it's coming from one of their own that they deem a snitch. They want to call it a secret society, but it's really a racist gang. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And you wonder why the Most High put a spirit on me to come up with the anti-police brutality commandos. I'm going to tell you, man, things are getting worse. They're not getting any better. Revelations 12, verse 12 says the devil will come down with great wrath because he knows that he has a short time to stand. The banksters realize they have a short time. The Illuminati knows that they have a short time, but you're insisting in them extending their rule by not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High has ordained upon us. So you got a racist gang of cops. And let me tell you something, man. This is just one that made it blatantly obvious. I mean, you're talking about most police departments. Stop me where I'm lying at, Stefan. When you talk racism and discriminative, out of control cops, you're talking about the average damn police department, and the government wants to deny it because they use these racist cops to keep you in check, to keep you fearing them. See, without this fear, they realize that they will not be able to control you. This is why they shun my channel. Is shun. I don't get the views that I more than deserve. It's not announced to most of you when I'm going live. I mean, wow. But nevertheless, so you got Los Angeles County and Compton. You have an illuminating, entrenched nature, subculture that has plagued the sheriff's department for years. It just surfaced now, right? But they've known about this for years, right? And this figure about they paid out 55 million. It's way more than that. It's way more than that for their brutality and so on and so forth, right? Now, the county has paid out nearly 21 million in cases that began in the last 10 years, according to a document that was cited by the Los Angeles Times. The highest cost underscores how these deputy groups, which is really a gang. Now you hear us saying stuff like this for years. The police is a gang. And people play it off as conspiracy theory. You better wake up, folks. You better wake up. And again, as you come into the room, go ahead and give a thumbs up, man. You got to wake up, folks. You got to wake up from sleep. Wake up from sleep. Because we're dying out here. So have you heard about it, Shaw? I know you heard us talking about it last night. There's a violent gang. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies, they call themselves the executioners. You heard about it, right, Shaw? Executioners. With a skeleton, a tattoo of a skeleton and flames of hell. The skeleton, the tattoo of the skeleton, it always represents death. Stefan the Don. It always represents death. Coming up out of the flames of hell. And they've been giving you hell. So you have this violent, racist gang of deputy sheriffs in Los Angeles counties who call themselves the executioners. They control a patrol station in Compton. Who's living in Compton? Hey, man. Isn't that where the East Side Tabernacle is? How you gonna deal with that, East Side? I didn't hear you guys talking about that. But they're in Compton and they control and patrol a station in Compton through force, through threats, work slowdowns, and acts of revenge against those that speak out against them, man. They take revenge on people that speak out against them. So you had, what was his name? Broto, Gonzalez, something like that, who was actually a former Marine, by the way, and a sheriff since back in 2007, right? He said in a notice of claim ahead of a planned lawsuit that the gang retaliated against him for months after he anonymously reported a fellow deputy for allegedly assaulting a coworker in February. Now, to further the gang's reputation, Gonzalez later received a text message with a photo of graffiti at the station. He said, this is what he said. And the graffiti alleged said, "Art is a rat. Art is a rat." So on Tuesday, you have the councilwoman, Michelle Chambers. She said she saw the graffiti at the station as recently as last week. And it's been since been removed. So they put his name. That's the gang stuff, man. You know this stuff on the Don. When a gang want a hit on someone, they put it on the wall. So you got a sheriff gang, a deputy sheriff gang that graffiti this dude's information on the wall, calling him a rat, so someone could put a hit on it. This is one of their fellow deputies. They do this to one of their own that work for them. What the hell you think they've been doing to you, man? You wonder where people been dying. But this is not isolated, Honest Johnson. It's not isolated. There's plenty of departments out here doing like this, man. So Chambers said at the news conference that it's unacceptable. Compton residents are still dealing with reports of excessive force in the wake of George Floyd's death in Minneapolis police custody back in May. Oh, what you think? Oh, it was over? What you all thought just getting a picket sign and making a fool out of yourself was going to end it? Man, you better join the anti-police brutality. You don't want to get caught by yourself, man. This is one of the worst times to be an individual like Stefan the Don. Shaw, I see you fell out of the room, man. I don't know what's up with that. This is one of the worst time to be an individual like, right? So you got, this guy Gonzalez. He said he fears for his life now, man. So you got these men that have been going around brutalizing people, beating them badly, shooting them. I mean, it's a gang behind a badge. And so this guy, Gonzalez, has actually been making accusations about a gang in the department called the Spartans, Regulation, Grim Reapers, Banditos, that all share tattoos and history of violence. So it's not just the executioners, man. You got others out there. But then the sheriff came on and he denied it. He came on and he denied it. This is not the time, man. I'm telling you, family, this is not the time that you want to be alone, an individual. You should be joining the anti-police brutality commandos, man. And maybe you could, you know what I mean, get a little bit of protection. Learn to defend yourselves. Because you see what's going down, man. It's happening on a daily basis now. You get pulled over, you don't know what to anticipate. Since George Floyd, cops has gotten worse. Just stop me where I'm lying at. I mean, real talk. Since George Floyd, things have gotten worse. And so, but this is strategically planned. How we know, and like, you got the feds pretending they don't know. You got the government pretending it doesn't know. But we know. Come on, man. Stop playing. Can't you guys see it's the game? That they're all in cahoots? It's a game. For over 200 years, right? And this is all part of the deep state, man. It's all part of eugenics, racism, and population control. All of this goes back to the deep state. The deep state is allowing this. It's allowing this department to do these type of things, man. It's the deep state. So for over 200 years, an elite core of powerful global leaders that's grossly influent individuals and their foundations have promulgated the fear into you. They've also promulgated racism. By way of racism, they use strategic tactics of divide and conquer. Because they have this fear, this phobia of overpopulation. So they persisted with devious schemes to control the Earth's population. Right here in the United States of America, they allow deputy sheriffs like the executioners to go out and just do what in the hell they want to, and they pretend that they don't have any knowledge of it. I want you to tell me, how can we know, Emmanuel, and they not know? When they track drug dealers down like it's that. They know what you're doing every second of the day, but they don't know what their own deputies and police are doing. Don't fall for that, man. This is all part of the deep state, man, to destroy you. So historically, this onslaught finds its starting point in the principles of population, right? Anyone, what happened to you, Shaw? You fell out of the room, man. Anyone familiar with that essay, The Principle of Population, that was written in 1798 by Thomas Malthus? His thesis was that human population growth would outpace the Earth's capacity to feed the growing masses of humanity. What did Esau do? Esau went into a panic. The Illuminati says that we got to get rid of the population. We got to lower the population. So they brought in guns. They brought in heroin into Jake's community. They brought in everything. They brought in eugenics, birth control. Who was the primary target? You so-called blacks. Primary target. I mean, don't get upset, other nations. Don't get upset. It's just truth. And the truth will make you free. It'll probably make you mad first. Because there's an admission of guilt. But it will make you free if you receive it. To those that can receive it. So this is all part of the deep state, these illuministic bankers. This is why you got things going on like it's going on right now, Mikael, in Los Angeles County with the executioners. So this man's thesis was that the human population growth would actually outpace the Earth's capacity to feed the growing masses of humanity. So this guy, Mathatha's idea, it captured the attention of a man, a racist man by the name of Charles Darwin, and colored his evolutionary theory of natural selection. And so this is essentially reflected in the extended title of the Darwin's document that he wrote entitled Origins of the Species. And so by means of the natural selection and the preservations of the favored races, racism, divide and conquer, in the struggle of life, Darwin's cousin, a man by the name of Francis Galton, he went even further. He introduced the idea of good and bad genes. Hear me well. Hear me well, Ernest Johnson. So respectively, eugenics v. degenic, the good of the births, or eugenics had arrived. So this eugenics idea was lately advanced by a racist so-called white woman by the name of Margaret Sanger. This is all part of the deep state, man. And guess who fell in love with her? Eve. Guess why the number one destroyer, the number one murderer, the number one killer and executioner of so-called black people in the world today is a so-called black woman. You could get mad with me if you want to. You're the number one killer and destroyer of our people in the abortion clinics throughout the world because of a white racist woman by the name of Margaret Sanger that Hillary Clinton so praised. But how in the hell could you be for Democrats then? So this Margaret Sanger, she didn't start eugenics, and my good brother Dietrich Smith. She didn't start it. The eugenics idea was later advanced by Margaret Sanger, the founder of the American Birth Control League. And then later in 1934, 1 year after they took gold and silver out of circulation, she started Planned Parenthood. If you want to be a parent, we're going to plan who could have children. And when you're not going to plan it, we're going to plan it for you. And we're going to teach you to destroy the fruit of your womb. So try as they may, my good brother Dietrich Smith, Planned Parenthood found it difficult to disguise Sanger's eugenics legacy. So by attempting to ignore her Negro project, she had a Negro project, man. Now you Eves, you need to listen, man. Eve, you wicked, man. And you wonder why we stay on you so much, man? You killing our people. They talk about what's going on in Chicago. What you think about something, Zebulon? Why people always, oh yeah, yeah, they killing each other in Chicago. What's worse? Eve killing the fruit of a womb, man. She killing an infant. She killed the fetus with no remorse. A murderer. A killer. Well, I know you don't like this conversation, man, but it's necessary, man. So, Eve, you are the number one participant in a racist so-called white woman's project by the name of Margaret Sanger. Eugenics. The Negro Project. That was a project to get rid of you so-called Negroes. So, as acknowledged by Alan Gluttmercer, when he succeeded her as president of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America, he said, and I quote, "We're merely walking down the path of Miss Sanger's, carved out for us." And that's what you're doing. That's what Eve's doing. Every time you go into the abortion clinic and you murder the fruit of your womb, you're walking down the path of Margaret Sanger, man. You're walking in the path of Margaret Sanger. Eve's murdering the fruit of her womb with no remorse. She knew that she didn't want that baby child before she laid down. She knew that. But you talk about the murderers in Chicago. Let's talk about the number one murderer in the world of you so-called Negroes. You so-called blacks and colors, which is a so-called black woman. You can't even call me a liar, man. She knows better, man. What you mean she don't know better? I'm warrior lord. No, Eve knows better. You know you're not supposed to take the fruit, kill the fruit of your womb. That's a life, man. As they become so cold, man. She's become like the person that taught her. She's become a devil. So, an even greater pursuit for eugenics idea might be leveled at the door of the Rockefellers. What Jay-Z said? This is Rockefeller for life. That simple Negro, man. He's nothing but a Masonic Negro, man. He's nothing but a Masonic Negro, man. He'll sell you out in a second. Stop supporting this music, man. Rockefeller for life, huh? They're the one that controlled the school foundation. But Rockefeller was in on the eugenics, my good brother Jeffrey. He was in on it. So Rockefellers, who was actually in the 1930s, they funded Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Germany, which directed the infamous eugenic schemes of the Third Reich and Adolf Hitler. Don't you know Rockefeller funded that, man? But America always went to pull up the dirt on Hitler. Why not pull it up on Rockefeller? He funded it. He funded it. It's all part of the deep state, man. Hitler's shameful practices brought an embarrassment to the eugenics sentiments, but in no way halted the ambitions of the global elite community that has committed themselves to population control. What about that, Jacob? Let's take, for instance, right? When Wilhelm Institute, previously also known as the Kaplan Institute, as founded by the Rockefeller Foundation. Now, go and check it out for yourself, man. It was founded by the Rockefeller Foundation. They invited the Swiss-born psychiatrist Dr. Ernest Röding, right, to be his first head. He founded the German Society for Race Hygiene and was appointed to Heinrich Himmler to draft the third sterilization laws for the prevention of hereditary diseases that was adopted later under Adolf Hitler's signature in 1933. Hold on, wait, Jeffy. So in 1933, while Theodore Roosevelt was over here taking away the gold, Hitler was over there in the same year putting eugenics in place, man. Allowing laws to put people to death if they had a hereditary disease. The laws was patterned after race laws. You understand? It was patterned after race laws, which had been drawn up by the Rockefeller Group. The Rockefeller Group is one of the primary sources for race laws, and they're part of the Illuminati. The Rockefeller Group introduced as statutes in the U.S. state of Virginia. Rockefellers are responsible for that. See, when they talk about the Rockefellers, they always want to talk about his greatness. Why not talk about his eugenics? Why not talk about their racist divide and conquer tactics? Rockefeller Group introduced this race laws as statutes in the state of Virginia first. Meanwhile, back on the ranch in the U.S., eugenics ideas was actually embraced by the creation of the Human Betterment Foundation. Man by the name of E.S. Gorstny. Its first president was Paul Popno. He was also a member of the American Eugenics Society. And so this too was originally founded by John D. Rockefeller. Why don't you guys know anything about this? Would Jay-Z say this is Rockefeller for life? Man, you simple as hell. You Negroes are simple, man. Following these damn rappers. Simple as hell, man. They dumb our people down. And Max Eastman was also a part of that. So from these foundations, the worldwide population control movement grew. Rockefeller was at the head of it, man. Your racism and all of this, man. Funded by a millionaire, billionaire. So German eugenic practices, seemingly an embarrassment, actually continue unabated amongst the political elite. Their political leaders knew this. Just like in the United States, they know it. Take, for instance, Joseph Mengele. He was a mentor during the Nazis' Holocaust. Professor Artmar, right? The history is clear, man. Notwithstanding the disturbing condemnation of the German eugenics experiment, it embarrassed the American Eugenics Society. And so what happens? Consequently, they capitulated and transferred support to the Family Planning Association and Planned Parenthood. It was all built off of eugenics. And later, the International Planned Parenthood Foundation. So in the United States, right, other strong ties to eugenics ideology are coupled with the Dapper family. Anyone ever hear of the Dapper family? Ever hear of the Dapper family, Jeff? Go back to 1932, right? You got General William Dapper Jr. He provided the finances for the Third International Eugenics Conference in New York City. Third International Eugenics Congress in New York City. And he appointed Ernest Rueden as chief of the World Eugenics Movement. It's all about population control, man. Racism. Planned Parenthood, planned racism. This is why many of you can't get along today, man. This is why you don't like people because of their skin today, man. These these activities were sponsored by who? Illuministic bankers Mikhail Rockefeller and DuPont Foundation. So General Dapper's advisors to President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1963 to 69 also recommended the creation of the USAID, which was instrumental in financing birth control and population control schemes in tropical countries. And so this was said to safeguard America from the threat of development in overpopulated countries. So, I mean, to add on to this guy, General Dapper, he took a leading role in the Planned Parenthood, becoming an active vice chairman. So, fast forward to 1966, he was one of the first recipients of the Margaret Sanger Award for his singular contribution to resolve the world population crisis. You go to the early 1970s, he was appointed by President Nixon to the UN Population Commission. You got racist eugenicists in the top, in the presidency and all of that. You see that? In 1986, Dapper also worked with a man named Wycliffe Preston Dapper, founded and the pioneer, funded in 1937. When you go to 1986, he was appointed the head of the UN Development Program as director of the USAID, according to a 1991 report. This man assisted in 254 million couples to be surgically sterilized over the 90s. 254 million couples, Jeff, to be sterilized in just the 90s alone. The UN found for population activities now claims 37% of all Ibero-Americans and Caribbean women who've been sterilized. The UN fund is responsible for that. Eve don't want to get pregnant, man. She killed the fruit of her womb. This is all Illuminati. We talking about all Illuminati, man. We talking about all banksters. You could trace this back to the Fabian Society. You ever hear the Fabian Society, Stefan the Don, 1969? The creation of the UNFAP can be traced back to the Fabian Socialists, Julian Huxley, who founded the UNESCO in 1947. He had direct link to British population investigation commissions and the Eugenics Society. So meanwhile, you go over to the UK where Nicholas Careford is, right? You had Professor Glanville Williams, who existed from 1911 to 97. He was a fellow of the Eugenics Society in England and author of The Sanctity of Life and Criminal Law. He was one of the elite few to boldly expose the ideology of population control when he commented, since the industrialization, the upper stratum of society failed to replace themselves, while the population as a whole is increased by excess births among the lower and uneducated classes. They talking about you, the lower and uneducated classes. They talking about you, man. So we go back to the Rockefeller, man, Foundation, right? They legalized abortions in Japan in 1948. That goes back to the Rockefeller Foundation, man. These people controlling the world, man. They're globe controllers, approved under the Eugenics Protection Act. Go and Google the Eugenics Protection Act. So the preservationists of the Japanese post-US war, then in 1952, in a company with Frederick Osborne, John D. Rockefeller funded the Population Council, which in more recent days has been allied to the promotion and production of the kill pill. Remember that kill pill they came out with? This is your government, man. This is your secret society. This is what they do, and your women are fully participating in this. Your women are hard body in this. It's all birth control, man. All eugenics. And all done through racism. Guess who was a targeted race? You. And so this is why you have executioners in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. It's all planned, man. Population control. It's not new. So the World Bank has over 30 years provided in excess of $2.5 billion in grants to 130 reproductive health projects in some 70 countries. And in company with massive private funding for the foundations established by billionaires, right? Like Rockefellers, like Gates, Bill Gates, like Soros, right? Soros. Sounds like Black Lives Matter, huh? Like Buffett, huh? They're all part of it, man. Rockefeller, Brightstone, Buffett, Gates, Soros, Hewitt, Packard, Turner, and so on and so forth. World Bank's all involved in this, man. See, the World Bank and the UNFPA continue to provide incredibly large financial contributions for population control projects. Now, you can like that, understand it, believe it or not, man. Many of them coordinated with the IPPF and associated with many of these eugenic organizations. In 1968, the imagination of this new elite family, they panicked over overpopulation scaremongers. And so they established a population bomb. And this was followed by 1991. Eldridge and his wife, Annie, wrote Population Explosion. Okay, this is all engendering fear. So they're trying to get rid of people. Yeah, none of them predicted the global famines. None of them predicted the diseases. None of them predicted the civil or international wars. They didn't predict any of that. They didn't predict that. They didn't predict how many people would die in these things. So, hey, man, you're in some troublesome times, man. You're in some troublesome time, man. So the reason that they're using racism and whatever else they could use, it's the population, man. Turn one race against the other. Race wars. They stand back and let you kill each other, man. They tried in the health clinics, Planned Parenthood. They tried with the weapons. They tried with the drugs. They're still trying with Eve. They're trying to get rid of you, man. So the web of population control, it remains. It remains, man. Reducing the world population. They're promoting environmentalism. They're establishing a one world government and promoting a new world spirituality, which is do as you please. Freedom of choice. Do you understand? They want a stable population, they say. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? They're trying to eliminate you. What's coming in the vaccine? What's coming in the mandatory vaccine? Are you going to take it? What will you do? What are you going to do now? You know that it's coming. What are you going to do about the one world ID shot? October, you won't be able to travel anywhere, man. Well, what are you gonna do, stuff on the Don, without the one world ID? What are you gonna do? How you gonna deal with that, Jeff? Can't go nowhere, can't fly. What are you gonna do without the one world ID? Deep state is coming hard body. What are you gonna do, Richard Stewart? Got a one world ID? Are you gonna get the injection, Richard Stewart? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if you get pulled over, Shaw? Back to me, man. Come on in, Richard Stewart. What are you gonna do if you get pulled over, Shaw? And it just so happens you run into a gang like the executioners, because the executioners are not the only gang out there, man. That's not the only gang of cops. They just made that one known. They're so dirty, they got overexposed. What are you gonna do now, Richard? What about if they pull you over, Richard? How are you gonna respond to that? They slamming, they're making your women get out of the car. Innocent women that's not involved in nothing. Innocent women and children, they're making them get out of the car and lay on a damn hot-ass pavement in 100-degree weather. Humiliating them. What are you men doing? And you don't want to become an anti-police brutality commando to help stand up and defend yourself and your people? What are you going to do now? Keep making excuses? The link's in the room, man. Come on in the room, man. What are you going to do, man? What you going to do, Richard Stewart? Might be you that could get pulled over the next one. How will you respond, Shaw? They pull you over. How you going to respond? What you going to do? How's Stefan going to deal with it? If you get pulled over, Richard Stewart, how are you going to deal with it? They come at you violently. They've been excessively violent now, Shaw. You hear it last night when we was on the call? What the brother Daryl said? 6 cops came straight towards him, man. Mistaken identity. Could have been you. What if that was you, Shaw? What are you going to do, Mahmoud?
Slug, my bad on every time you called out the name, I was in a bad area. But I'm gonna handle the situation on the private side. I have 72 hours to discharge any presentment.
Hold on, Shaw. They're not really dealing like that right now. When we was on the call last night, Daryl said 6 or 12 cops jumped out of SUVs and all that and ran up on him, man.
True.
While we was on the call. Instead of him letting us know, like I think he should have done, he went silent. What you could have done, man? He should have called the brothers. He should have let them know that we was on the call, man. And he'd been on that call the entire time. And he said, even though he was going to work, they still wanted to check him out. It could be you, man. Don't think that it can't be you because it hasn't happened yet. And then, you know, how many that video you sent me with 2 females and 2 little girls? They made them lie on the hot damn pavement, face down.
Yeah, that's madness.
Now you got a little. What kind of damn beast must you be? One of those little girls, like she was about 5, man, and he got her laying down on the damn pavement,
handcuffed behind her back. Man. Yeah, handcuffed behind her back.
And Jake still won't do a damn thing. And we've been telling people to join the anti-police brutality commandos, and they think this is a game, man. All they're gonna do is what they do, man. They complain, they run and get a lawyer and settle for peanuts. That could have almost been your life. And they was totally innocent. Now, how in the hell, you explain that to me, Richard? They're looking for a motorcycle. How in the hell are you pulling over 2 black women and 2 children in their minivan if you're looking for a motorcycle? What the hell is that?
Total madness, man. That make no sense whatsoever. You can explain that.
Just let you know. Let you know they still doing it out here, man. They still first off, they always been profiling this anyway. It's not like it's new. It ain't new, but the profiling now is even more serious than what was yesterday if it happens like that. Because like you say, who knows when it can happen to you? It can happen at any time. So brother last night, as well as what was shown on the videos from last night, it just let us know that our people need to wake up, and they need to understand what truly the ins and out of this world, because it ain't getting no better. It ain't getting better. It ain't getting better on the law side, or with us coming into the truth, knowing the truth, how we supposed to handle ourselves with that type of situation. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, we have to unite, man, and show our force. We have to.
This is what I know, man. Talking and picket signs is not projecting the message that needs to be projected, Mahmoud. That's not going to work. Talking and all of that is not going to work. They don't understand that language. It's proven. Don't you know that?
Well, yeah, because you are asking for rights when you do stuff like that.
No, I agree with you, Tazadaq.
You got cops now, man, that they got testimonies, man, and videos online saying that, I'm talking about racist white cops saying that if race wars start, they're all for it.
Oh yeah,
they're all for it, and they're gonna kill as many blacks as possible.
No,
they can't wait. They're
gonna be the first ones that's gonna go. It ain't gonna be us. It's gonna be them.
How is that, Mahmoud? Because looks like most of our people are afraid, man.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think so. I don't believe that.
They were taught all their life to believe in the law.
When it really comes down to it,
Let me stop you for a second, Mahmoud. You see, you don't think so, right? Did you see the incident when the 2 black women and 2 little girls were made to lay face down on a hot-ass pavement, handcuffed? If our people wasn't afraid, where were the men that were supposed to come to their rescue? What are the men?
What city did that happen in? Because I didn't see it. I didn't see the incident.
Don't really matter which state, man. It's happening all over.
You name it. You name it happening.
Fact of the matter, it happens.
But you understand me? We got to be careful what we say publicly. Privately is a different thing. But
if you can exercise your freedom of speech, when can you?
Yeah.
And we ain't saying nothing that is not true. This was on news. It happened.
Yeah, and so that's part of the problem, Mahmoud. They made too many of us docile and afraid.
Yeah,
and this is what they're controlling people off of. You got a sister that came on here about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
She said she got raped by 6 cops, man, when they kicked in the door. And every time she was trying to say something, they shut it down. She had emailed me and told me she wanted to come on, today, but she also said they'd be stalking her. So, I don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? She might be sending out a message. They stalking her, but this, this stuff is real, man. This is not television. This is real, man. This is going down. And, I understand, you got people trying to stand up like NFAC, but we really got to be organized and we really got to be trained. We can't stand up as a joke. You say that's better than nothing, but hey, man, we got to really organize you and really got to train, man. In self-defense, man. The law states when a policeman acts or he performs an illegal arrest, you're to treat him just like any other assaultant.
Right. You're correct on that. Some of those earlier rulings by judges stated exactly that, word for word. You can treat them like pirates and defend yourself. So you know what I mean? I hear you.
You say our people are not free, right, Mahmoud? Why they not joining us, man?
Because they're not desperate enough yet. That's why people don't tend to act until they get desperate. When they're not eating, when they're hungry.
That's too late.
When they don't know when their last meal's coming. And you're right, most of the time it's too late. So
what do you think about the executioners, Mahmoud? You seen them?
No, I haven't. Who are those dudes? The executioners? No, I haven't heard of them.
And this has been going on for years. It's deputies.
Oh, you're talking about the crooked ass police, the cops.
These are deputies. It's a gang. They literally have gang tattoos.
And they go around executing vigilante justice,
brutalizing and beating the hell out of people,
black
and
people,
getting away with it.
Oh, going around beating up,
or paying lawsuits. The state has been paying a lot of lawsuits for these people for the brutality. This is why we got to stay up on current events, man.
Right.
Hold on a second.
I'm gonna have to Google it and see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you in a second.
All right.
See if I can find it. What do you think about that, Shaw? Richard? Now, how would you deal with something like that? You got pulled over because they're not just in Los Angeles, man. We know they out here. What if you get pulled over by them? What are you gonna do? Pull out your fee schedule? What are you gonna do? Pull out a fee schedule? Yeah, I'm telling you, man. He got cold still. He got still pointing at your dome. What you gonna do? Pull out a fee schedule? Hey, you see, you can't do this, man. I'm a secure party creditor.
It's too late.
It's too late for that. I ain't even in the question. That's not even in my head. Now, I was thinking on the other side, but yeah, what am I gonna do? Try to take that gun? Boom, head bust. You gotta look
at this, man, because this is very real, and it's happening day after day after day. It's getting way too real, man. Hold on a second. I'm gonna share my screen, Mahmoud.
All right.
Let me enlighten you a little bit. Yeah, man. Our people are gonna wake up quick, man. And it's not just here, man. You know that, man. It's not just in Los Angeles County. These cops are out of control, damn near everywhere.
Yeah, well, where I'm at, I do want to get a big thing within the female.
Menendez has a closer look at the pressure mounting on the department to open their files on any groups like this.
From inside the Compton Sheriff's Station, a deputy's claim filed with the county about an aggressive band of his cohorts allegedly in control. According to the claim, members are branded with a sinister logo,
which is a skeleton wearing a Nazi helmet.
Straight racist, man.
With an AK-47 laughing.
And go by a sinister name, the Executioners, which according to the claim does not allow African American or female members. Deputy Art Gonzalez alleges the deputy gang is trampling on the rights of citizens and targeting him as a whistleblower.
Deputy Gonzalez, he's afraid for his safety right now, as he should be. This is a violent gang, violence, shooting.
Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Claims of excessive force and much more. And the timing. As community outcry demands systemic change, allegations in the filing claim that as many as 40% of Compton deputies are inked.
40%.
Rumblings reaching the sheriff.
Well, first of all,
he denies it. He denies it.
Right now, this matter is
typical. He denies it.
Very swift administrative action. We've already taken positive steps.
But
pressure change is intensifying. Professor Sean Kennedy at Loyola Law School releasing a 2-year study of deputy gangs, including the Executioners.
It's 5 o'clock. The inking is attached to some kind of act of violence, including a shooting. It's the ultimate expression of your commitment to policing and your commitment to the deputy gang.
The complainant, Deputy Art Gonzalez, is a former U.S. Marine decorated for his service in Iraq, Afghanistan. Here in Compton, once praised for speedy action to save a 4-year-old boy shot in the head. The tipping point? Gonzalez says he witnessed a deputy executioner assaulting a fellow deputy. Gonzalez called a confidential tip line for internal affairs. To his shock, he says in his claim, the recording was intercepted.
Is within 48 hours, a
recording
of his supposedly anonymous call.
And that's happening in Compton, California?
That's right. That's right.
All those fucking knuckleheads out there, gang members, black gang members that got guns and stuff.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
Can't shut that down. Man, that makes me sick.
Flashpoint for high-profile crimes.
That should not be happening where it's happening at.
In the middle of a shootout. And
no.
Guard, Andres Guardado, chased by 2 Compton deputies, shot 5 times.
I remember that right there.
Evidence of the secret deputy pack emerged in the wrongful death shooting case of Dante Taylor. Compton deputy Samuel O'Donnell was forced to reveal his account, saying that about 20 deputies at the Compton station have the same ink.
Skeleton, which is a symbol of death. There are flames on Aldano's tattoo, which symbolizes he's emerging from hell. There is an AK-47.
The Taylor family attorney put up huge billboards looking for potential victims. Aldama denied the group is a gang. The county settled for $7 million.
This is all taxpayers' money. So, yes, the taxpayers should be very worried. Criminal defense lawyers are going to be lining up, making motions for new trials.
The Gonzalez claim alleges the executioners brokered a deal to amp up arrest numbers. Members of the public were stopped for minor infractions. According to the Loyola study, sheriffs over the last 5 decades have been unable or unwilling to dismantle the deputy gangs, and the money paid out to settle lawsuits when they are caught crossing the line.
The inspector general gave me a ballpark estimate based on just public information that it's at least $50 million. I think in reality, it's got to be much, much more.
Villanueva says he is the first sheriff to impose a policy forbidding such groups. The inspector general says today there is no evidence that the sheriff has pursued any house cleaning. The county's watchdogs want the sheriff's records on all deputy gangs and the names of all members. The sheriff says due process laws protect deputies from such disclosure.
The guy got a damn smirk on his face.
He wants compensation for the years he had planned to serve, but now cannot.
Once you run afoul of the department, and you blow the whistle on illegal conduct within the LA County Sheriff's Department, your career is over.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our
See that, man? That's what it is, man.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. And so, I mean, how is this going unchecked, man? You know what I mean? For so long. It's been going unchecked. And so, I mean, this is the point I want to bring out, man. It's not just there in LA. It's throughout the United States. It goes on in New York City, hard body, man. And every other state in the United States, man. Here's the thing. The de facto knows this is going on, and they allow it to keep people in check through fear. It's all part of the deep state, man. It's control, man.
You're exactly right.
They use it as a control mechanism.
I didn't realize how far the rabbit hole went until I learned about you. You opened up my eyes, brother. It goes deep. And I think a lot of people don't believe how deep it goes.
Yeah, man.
And
I mean, you just never know, man. Imagine you getting pulled over, man.
Because we've all been brainwashed.
Right.
Our minds have been programmed to believe in lies. So it's gonna take some undoing to wake people up.
Come on.
For them to believe what's really been going on, what's been done to them. How you gonna tell white people they've been enslaved by their own people? How you gonna get them to believe, let alone our people first, before we can get anybody else to believe?
Yeah, man.
Because that's really what it's about. It's not even about color anymore.
I mean, they use that. Chosen one. What do you mean that sound funny style?
Who said that?
Room, chosen one. Come into the room and explain yourself.
Yeah, come in the room and talk.
Yeah, come in the room and talk, man. People be on these comment boards taking shots, and what do you mean that sound funny style, chosen one? Come on in the room.
Yeah.
Click on the link. Come in the room. Yeah. And so the snitch line. So I mean, that kind of shows you how powerful these people are, and probably some of the higher ups are afraid of these dudes, man. Because I mean, you're talking about an outright gang, man. Like I was saying earlier, man. They put the dude's name on the wall, man. That's some gang stuff right there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's some gang stuff right there, man. Yeah, man. It's getting bad, man. It's getting worse. I mean, you get pulled over by the cops, man. What's going to go through your head at this point? Because since George Floyd, they've been getting more violent. Yeah, they've been that way, chosen one. Why don't you come in the room and talk, chosen one? You talking on the board. Be a man coming in the room. Of course, they've been that way, but now they turning it up. They're literally making statements saying that they want race wars to break out, man. When you get a cop saying that, man, well, how do you know which one is and which one isn't?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that, man.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't even have to have no tattoos or no marking on the skin to recognize or to be a part of any organization, because to me that's a violation right there.
Yeah, they think, so they think I'm making it up. Let me show you something. I do this for real, man. I don't just say stuff unless I have some sort of confession or I confirmed it myself. You literally got cops saying that they want the race wars to take place, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hold on. Let me show you something here, man.
All right.
Yeah, this rabbit hole is real deep, man. Oh, here we go.
As we've watched these street protests night after night and the continued uprising against systemic racism and police brutality, it's hard not to keep thinking about something that I've...
Okay, it populated. Hold on. There it is. It's taking a while. Okay, it's about to share right now over here. Make sure they can see it on YouTube. All right, listen to this.
Seen on a bunch of protest signs in many different cities. Imagine all the many terrible things that have happened that just weren't caught on camera. Particularly when we see disturbing stories like what just happened in Wilmington, North Carolina, which we only know about basically through sheer fluke, because a sergeant conducting an audit stumbled onto a video that had been accidentally recorded by a Wilmington police officer, and the police department, to its credit, told the public what they found. In the video, 3 longtime veteran Wilmington officers who've been on the job since the late 1990s, think about that, decades on the force, are heard saying some
racist as hell,
really vile and racist things, with one of them flat out calling for a race war.
See that?
This is a police officer who's been there for decades. Quote, "We are just going to go out and start slaughtering them effing N-words. I can't wait. God, I can't wait."
See that?
The officer adding that a civil war is needed to, quote, and I quote him here, "wipe them off the effing map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations." All 3 officers have now been fired for misconduct. The city's new police chief, Donnie Williams, making the announcement yesterday.
When I first learned of these conversations, I was shocked, saddened, and disgusted. There is no place for this behavior in our agency or our city, and it will not be tolerated.
That was his first day on the job, one of his first actions as a head of police in that town. And there's so many ways this is disturbing. They're basically uncountable. But most striking to me is the resonance and meaning of these violent racist words in this particular place, Wilmington, North Carolina. It's a city that is in many ways a perfect representation of the trajectory of racial injustice in America. Because back in the late 1800s, after the Civil War and in Reconstruction, Wilmington was a thriving, fairly well-integrated town racially. That was thanks to the post-Civil War project of Reconstruction, which used the federal government to actively seek to integrate freemen and women as full citizens, to give them rights and more. And then came what was arguably the only pure coup d'etat in U.S. history, when a white supremacist mob violently wrenched power, overthrowing the city government, killing at least 60 African Americans, slaughtering them, wrenching power back with terrorist, white supremacist, fascist violence to regain white supremacy, a key moment in the destruction of this nation's project of racial equality and reconstruction. And the system those racists built, that is a system upon which we now stand. To the point where in the year 2020, Wilmington police officers are fantasizing about a race war where they could shoot Black people that would put Black Americans back about 4 or 5 generations, back to what happened in that same city. And in the decades following the 1988 coup, the racists who seized power, well, they took a kind of victory lap. They erected statues, Confederate statues, to celebrate their victory, to send the message to the people they had killed and slaughtered and beaten out of power that they were in control. But last night, 2 of those statues came down on the order of city officials. We are now in a moment we are seeing things brought to light that were buried before. At least some of us are seeing things that were brought to light buried before. Many Americans have been seeing.
And so this is the thing I have to say about this. Statues being there, they can't do a damn thing to nobody. You see what I'm saying? You got to deal with these people that's making statements like that. Do you realize how many thousands of people out there that their mind has actually been controlled by the deep state for so damn long? Many of these people hate your guts, man. This is why I'm telling you, man, this is not the times. These are not the times to be individualized. You better join the anti-police brutality commandos, man, and stop being little wussies, man. It's time to stand up, man. These people are expressing. Now imagine this. The thing about, let's reflect back to what I was saying earlier. Imagine one of those cops pulling you over. There's cops like that in every state, man, with that mentality. Imagine one of them pulling you over, man. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And so every time someone try to come forth like this and expose them, you know what happens? They pick Sambo. They put him in a prestigious position and put you back to sleep, man. I'm gonna stay with mine, man. You see what that say, man? Come take it. That's where I'm at with it, man. That's where I'm at with it, man. That's where I'm at with it.
I hear you, brother.
I don't care who's in office.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Come take it, man. That's
I hear
where
you.
I'm at. Yeah.
And I'm with you. You can bet that.
Yeah, man. A lot of states, I'm gonna tell you now, man. To those of you not aware, when you leave certain states now, they're mandating that you self-quarantine. And they're doing things like tracking your license plate and all of that. And if you don't quarantine, they're hitting you a $500 fine a day and 60 days in jail. This is dictatorship, man. This is an allegory. But people would still want to stand aside and be docile, man. Do you people understand what's going on, man? The deep state is really turning it up on you, man. So they're saying if you don't self-quarantine, if you go to a different state, they find out you don't self-quarantine, you're spending 60 or more days in jail, $500 fine a day. I'm telling you, man.
That's madness. That's straight madness.
It's madness, but that's what they're pushing. In Washington, D.C., they said if they catch anyone that come to Washington, D.C. that didn't quarantine for 4 days, 14 days, they locking them up for 60 days.
Damn.
You come to New York, they said mandatory quarantine. Mandatory quarantine if you come to San Francisco and so on and so forth.
For how long?
14 days.
14 days.
Oh. And now, may I ask you a question, who in the hell, you traveling from state to state, who in the hell got money to stay in a damn hotel for 14 days? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially if you're working.
Yeah, man. I'll show you something else, man. Yeah, man. They're giving you an order, man.
There is a huge.
They're not making a suggestion. They're giving you an order to quarantine.
And it's unlawful.
All orders are unlawful.
Not if you're a debtor, it's not. Well, what was you going to say, Richard? What you going to say?
That's true. That's true. Did you hear what the guy said?
What was that? What was that, Richard?
Oh, when I was listening to what they was playing earlier, the guy says the word citizen, giving the rights to the citizens.
Right.
Just by listening to that, and when I listen,
right.
Yeah, as a citizen, they dictate what rights you have or don't have, receive or don't receive. You know, as I said, a debtor.
Right.
That was funny. That was really funny.
Fundraising deadline coming up for Senate Democrats, and they need your help right now if they're going to need it.
Every dollar you give from now,
as well as a new.
Now check this out.
I will sign today. I'm joined by members of my public health and emergency.
They out of control, man.
Response.
They're giving debtors orders, man.
I want to remind everyone that we have updated our testing schedule for the rest of the summer to make best use of our time and the expected hot weather. So for the rest of the summer, the Anacostia, UDC at Fort Totten, and Judiciary Square testing sites will open earlier. Will open from 8 a.m. until noon. This morning, however, those sites so the bottom line is that we're moving our walk-up sites in the district, and thankfully we know that as testing
she's talking too much.
That we see.
Let me see if I can find another video that's more direct, man. She's talking too much. They want a mandatory quarantine, man.
That's when you know the line, the lips moving.
Yeah, man. And this was the last time I was there, man. I heard it.
All I gotta say, 2020. That's what I gotta say. 2020, man, off the chain.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been turning it up, man. This year. Yeah, you hear about the couple in Florida that didn't quarantine, they threw them in jail?
No, I didn't hear about that.
No, I didn't catch that.
How long ago that happened?
A few days ago, man.
I have to start watching the news so I can keep up on current events.
Yeah.
That's very important right now. Very important. Wow.
Yeah, man. A lot of states pushing that. Where can I find anything on it right now, man?
So I know we cannot speculate because we can't really see the future exactly, but we already know it's coming. So how far off you think before they really pass this mandate you have to be vaccinated?
I don't know, man. It's getting close.
Wow. Revelation being revealed.
Yeah, a lot of people don't believe it, man. People. And you know, oh, well, it's just one. It's happened before.
I must confess, I understand and know it's going to happen, but I still can't believe actually seeing it happen. You know, like, wow.
Right. I see what's happening.
It's unreal.
I know what's happening. I just didn't think it was going to happen this fast.
In my lifetime, you know. Because we got it. Lock on with.
Yeah, so it said this was a few days ago. It says an order from DC Mayor Bowser went into effect Monday that puts restrictions on anyone coming into Washington, D.C. from a state that's considered a high risk due to coronavirus outbreak. The order says those who come to the district after non-essential activities in one of the high-risk states are required to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. People who travels outside of the district or arrive in the district or for the purposes of essential travel are required to watch for symptoms of the novel coronavirus for 14 days. If they have symptoms, they're expected to self-quarantine and get medical attention. Officials said travel to and from Maryland and Virginia is exempt from the order. 27 hotspot states: Arkansas, Arizona, Alabama, California, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Washington, and Wisconsin. So it says city officials acknowledge that the local authorities would not be able to widely enforce the order, which is similar to rules being put in place by states across the country. But officials says they expect residents and visitors to follow it. Anyone who willingly violates the order can be charged with a misdemeanor and fined $1,000 and imprisoned for up to 30 days. And they pushed it up since then to 60 days. So, I mean, that's what they're trying to push. And I heard last night that they're trying to track people, by their license plates and things like that to determine who's doing it or what have you. But I don't see how they could really, effectively track people like that. But yeah, man, this is what they're doing. And it's not just in DC. They're laying this down in a lot of different states now. So they're trying to tell you, hey, you got to quarantine.
Tough, man, for real. If you don't, they're going to charge you $1,000 on.
But that only applies, right? That only applies to persons.
So is that for flying or
Yeah,
for driving also?
Yeah, I mean, it's for anyone. No, it didn't specify driving or flying. If you're coming from one of those states, from one of those states, they want you to quarantine. Now, I mean, come on, man. Really, man. Unless they marking you with something, there's no way. To effectively track that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Satellite. Just don't look up. You'll be all right. Keep your head down.
Yeah, man. It's all part of the deep state Illuminati, man. Taking over, man. They telling you everything to do. And guess what, man? This is how people lose so many rights, man. This is why you citizens need a permit for a weapon right now, because they tell you to do it and you do it. They tell you to go, you go. They tell you to stay, you say. You just take those commands.
And that's just another way for them to track who has a weapon. An enemy combatant. That's the purpose of the gun permit.
Yeah, man. Hey, Mar, blessings. What you got, brother? You could come in. What you say about from January until now? You got something to say? You could come on in the room, brother. But I mean, this is what's going down, man. And it's not getting better; it's getting worse. So now it's already August, September, October. You don't have the One World ID. You can't travel anywhere.
But you know what? It's funny how much people forget about history. And if we look back into history, that will give us a playbook of what's already happening today. It's that simple.
Hey, Con. Hey, Mark Blessings, come on in the room. You got a question. He said, is it illegal for someone to check your temperature if you walk into a building? Is it? That's easy. Is it illegal? Is that your building? Can you walk into my house if I say, hey, man, More Blessing, I need you to check your temperature. I'm going to check your temperature before you come into my house. You don't let me check your temperature, I don't have to let you in, man. Or I might have to introduce you to AR. And she got 15 friends inside of her, man.
You talking about offer and acceptance?
No. I'm
saying basically.
Hey, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. You're gonna accept it. You're gonna accept it because I'm gonna give it to you. I am going to give it to you. I'm not concerned about your acceptance. You're gonna accept it, man. You may not volunteer to consent. Most people don't like to consent to AR, man.
Right?
I mean, they don't like her 15 rules, man. But hey, man, you don't have to be a party to the contract to accept this one, man. This right here, you'll be coerced into accepting this contract, man. And gonna pull guard into the castle, man.
All I gotta say, your communication is accepted for value, and your dishonor is returned to you. I'm out. I hang it around.
Yeah, man. What you got, Ken? Go.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Shalom.
Shalom, man. UTFO, man. That's what's going on. Untouchable force. That's what we need, man. We need an untouchable force, man.
I was listening to the news the other day. They was talking about New York is employing a mandatory registration for contact tracing.
Yeah.
And
I warned people about that about 2 weeks ago, man.
Then they're doing random searches every 8th vehicle coming in from select states, right? It just makes you wonder, like, how is that going to prevent anything as far as this COVID stuff goes? You know, this
Well, I
is
mean,
getting out of hand.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with COVID. See, that's
No,
just
it doesn't.
that what that is, brother. That's testing debtors to see who will willingly give up their right to be secure in their person. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment right there.
Exactly.
It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment, but a debtor doesn't know that. A debtor would just consent. I don't consent to your search. But then again, if you don't consent, don't think that New York don't have some executioners, man. Just like Los Angeles County got executioners, New York got them, man. Just by a different name.
You know, this thing is worldwide. This thing is worldwide, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They were killing. They were killing. They were killing people. They were the police. They were killing people in Kenya, right? In my country. They were killing people for violating a 7 p.m. curfew when this thing kicked off. They beat people in the street. And the police catch you out. They beat you to the point where you die, violating a curfew. Now they're arresting people for not wearing these damn masks.
In Kenya?
You know? Yes, sir. They're arresting
So
people for not wearing these masks.
I got a question, right? I got a question, brother. It's rhetorical, right? If you know that someone is going to beat you to maybe a centimeter of your life, or maybe take your life, or you're going to suffer? And by the way, the word suffer means to invite it, to consent, to willfully accept it. So if you know, if you get pulled over and someone may beat you to 1 centimeter of your life or deprive you of your life, will you consent to that ass whipping? That's the question.
I'm not going out like that.
It's rhetorical, man. You don't have to answer it. I don't want to.
That was a rhetorical answer.
I'm telling you, man. These are the things that people need to think about beforehand, right? It's dangerous getting pulled over now, man. It's always been, but now tension are starting to mount. It's something about George Floyd that let the cat out of the bag, man. Kango, you got a lot of background noise. Sound like you just turned the TV on, man.
Yeah, all these police killings and brutality is really, I believe these cops are being commanded by the officers above them to perform these acts.
I know that's what's going on. I know that's what's going on, Richard. I know that's what's going on.
They ain't doing it on their own. They got authority and permission to behave like that.
Right. Come on. Hey, Chosen One, why don't you come in the room, man? You've been talking in the text, man. Come on in the room, Chosen One.
Are you still talking shit in the text?
Well, I mean, he's talking, man. He's saying war and all of that. Come on in the room, speak up like a man, man. Don't worry about it. They already know who you are. You don't have to be afraid. We're the ones that's talking. Yeah, you still got that background noise, Kango. We're gonna have to do something, man. It's starting to stand up, man. It's not gonna get better on its own, man. Let me tell you, all of you, man, under the sounds of my voice right now. No one's coming to save you. No one's gonna get you out of this, man. No one is coming to save you. You don't have to save yourselves this time, man. They're not gonna have no mercy on you, man. You see how people was hung from trees, man? You see how people are getting beat, putting knees on their back, on their neck? That no one is coming to save you. You're going to be compelled this time to stand up and defend yourself. You don't have to do it, man. What are you going to do now, man? You see what's going on. What are you going to do, man? Bow down. What's up, Kenny? You just click on that link, Chosen One. You click on that link from a Chrome browser. You just click on that link under the Hey, Kango, you got a lot of background noise.
It's still going. It's still background.
Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of static, like ear.
You got an earpiece in your
I'm
ear?
in my truck. I'm a truck driver. I'm in my truck.
You got an earpiece in, don't you?
And I have an earpiece. Yes, I'm a truck driver.
All right. I remember you came on him before when the coronavirus first kicked off. When it first kicked off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're behind the wheel right now as we speak?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I had this mask thing that they're pushing is getting out of control. I had gone to Minneapolis and no, Milwaukee, my bad, Milwaukee. I had gone to Milwaukee and I stopped, I parked the truck. I wanted to get some food. So I went to this little local Indian food joint and I went in there. They didn't have any signs saying you need a mask. So I walked in there and one of the ladies that took my order, she had a mask on, but she didn't say anything to me. And another lady came in. There was a family eating in there. Another lady came out. She was like, we can get fined $500 for you not having a mask. So I said, okay, I'm gonna order my food and step outside. You just bring it out. Said, okay, no problem. She brought the food out. So I asked, I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? Because, I noticed you have a family that's sitting in there right now eating. And I noticed, they're obviously eating without masks on. So, what's, would you get fined for them eating in the restaurant? And she said, no, that the ordinance says that they can take the mask off to eat. But once they stand up from their seat, they had to put their mask back on. So I asked her, like, does that make sense to you? Like, somebody walks in and they sit down, they take their mask off. If they have something, then they've already contaminated the space.
Come on. You know it don't make no damn sense.
Yeah.
I know, man. But I'm just saying, like, people need to just think for themselves a little bit. Just employ your own faculties of thought and, like, put this stuff under your own scrutiny in your mind and really break it down if you really have to. If it's that, if it's that far fetched to you, you need to be able to really think about this. Like, why are we walking around and they're just saying, just put a cover over your face? It's not talking about N95s or nothing.
Right.
Just put a cover over your face. And some places you just need to cover your face just to walk in. Then you can take it off. Went to a place in South Carolina where you just put it on your face, walk in, and you can take it off. So it's like, what's the point?
What?
What's
the point
then they're making people buy. Then they're making people buy these things, right? That's another thing. They're making the people buy them instead of making them available for free. If it's this, this pandemic is so, it's just going crazy. Like we need to contain it. Why'd you make these things free? They're charging $2-3 for these things. They got designer masks out now. People just wearing these things driving. It just don't make sense.
Making themselves sick, man. They're making themselves
sick.
Wearing it all the time, man. You wear it too long,
these people. No, they're wearing them, and they're pulling up to the McDonald's drive-through. Put on a mask and you pull up to the McDonald's drive-through. Like, you killing yourself anyway. It's crazy.
In the car with the air on, recirculating the breathe air.
Yeah, I mean, just putting that mask on, man. If you notice, man, it'll make your nose start running, man. If you wear that damn thing too long, man, it'll make you.
I had to wear one at work, and you know what, Todd? Since you mentioned it, I noticed my nose has been running. I've been blowing it.
Yeah, that damn mask.
It's from that mask, but I had to wear it. Where I work at is
you're contaminating the very air you're breathing. You're contaminating yourself.
Right.
I went whitewater rafting.
They know that. They know that. They know it. They trying to make you sick, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's part of the
whitewater rafting in North Carolina.
Silence, man.
In a rafting. We on this boat. And it's two black it's a couple, right? And they're in the boat. We whitewater rafting, right, down some rapids. They're in the boat with masks.
No way. You're kidding, right? You kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. No, that's real. That's real. I should take a picture, but I have my camera on me.
They're indoctrinating fear into people like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
you got some people that's walking around their own house, man, with a mask on.
With a mask in their house, on their property, outside running. I can share a picture right now. I saw a lady running outside with her mask on.
Man.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like they got people thinking
last week. I'm sorry. I saw it last week. A mother and a daughter jogging, and they're wearing a mask, and you can see them fighting for air, but still, they got the mask on.
Got the mask on. But they'll go to the restaurants. They'll go to McDonald's. They'll pull up on Burger King. They'll pull up to the Frosty Boy. Get some dairy.
Yeah, I live in a so-called hot spot, and it's like everywhere I go, people are wearing masks.
The funniest thing, I have even seen people wearing masks with face shields.
I've seen that too, and it seems like it's normal. That's the accepted behavior.
You know, when I'm out driving, there's some companies that'll require you to stay in the truck, and they'll bring somebody out to get your paperwork. There's some companies that won't let you in, although you have to go in. They won't let you in without a face cover. Then there's some companies that do they test your temperature with that little gauge, the little heat gun they got. Test your temperature, you know.
Yeah, man, 2020, off the chase. I can't wait to see what 2021 gonna bring.
The chosen one, you entered the room yet?
Man, the real problem is when people start to, elevate other people into a position of like a god, and they put their lives in those particular people's hands, right? See, and this is what causes people to aid in their own destruction. Like people get to a certain point that they've arrived at this point that they literally trust government to a point that government pretty much could dictate, their lives, and they will believe anything that the government says, man. They trust in the government. So this is why, the government says to do this. They automatically believe that what the government say is in their best interest. And so if someone comes along and say, well, this may not necessarily be in your best interest, right? They won't believe that. They will fight it. I'm telling you, man, there's certain people that the deep state has plugged into this matrix so deep that they don't want to be unplugged. And if you try to unplug them, if you're trying to wake those people up, man, they will fight you to remain in this matrix. That's how deep it goes, man. That's how deep they fell into the deep state. This is a mind control mechanism that the powers that be is actually exercising on the masses of the people. And so when you try and talk to them about something like this, they call you a conspiracy theorist, even though you're trying to save their life. So because of titles, right? Take, for instance, like a person will automatically trust the doctor. Now, I want you to think about this, Mahmoud. A doctor is nothing but another man or woman like you or I that went to some school, someone's university. They study something. And now, all of a sudden, these people elevate this person onto a pedestal. Now, if the doctor's knowledge was so far beyond ours, Richard, Mahmoud, why doesn't the doctors outlive their patients? Think about this, man. The same man or woman that you go into for a doctor on a regular basis, they don't live any damn longer than you. Sometimes, in some cases, we outlive them. You understand what I'm saying? So what he's telling you is theories.
Right. So if he's such an expert on his field, then he should be in much better condition and health than everybody else.
He should be living way longer.
See, exactly. He should be living longer.
I deal with logic, man. I deal with logic. I deal with logical thinking. If you want me to listen,
no, that's just what I call using common sense.
Yeah, if you want me
to be common to all men, you don't need a degree to follow what you're saying, my brother.
If you want me to listen to you, you need to show me. You're gonna tell me how to live, what I need to take. Okay. After you've lived 50 years longer than the average person, now I might be able to believe you. But if you died 5 years before me, or you might live a year beyond, come on, man. Can't take the doctor's advice because it's not. What is it doing? Has it extended anyone's lives? They die around the same time that their patients do. And for what? So it shows you that that is a money-making industry tied into big pharma. That's all that is. So I've always stated, man, unless there's some sort of and this is not medical advice or legal advice, unless there's some sort of broken bone or something like that. Why do I need to go into one of them, man? They don't live any longer than their patients. I therefore can't take the doctor's advice, man. Most of what they give you is going to turn you into a damn chemist because they're going to send you over to big pharma. And so they have a connection with each other, how they make money off of each other. In order for the doctor to maintain their profession, guess what, Mahmoud? You need sick people. If people learn how to heal themselves, there's no more need for doctors, right?
Exactly.
So you got to get rid of the Dr. Sabies and anyone that comes along and try and tell you to heal thyself. They don't want to hear that. And people don't get that. We're being, from so many different avenues, people manipulated. And the very people that they're trusting are the ones manipulating and aiding in their destruction. Because of a position, they believe that person, to elevate that person, and they put absolute trust. But at the end of the day, the president, he's just a man like you, right?
Yes.
Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop judgment from coming. Tell him not die. He got some kind of superpower. Okay, I want you to live forever, president.
I want to know how come he's not wearing a mask. Every time I see him on TV, he ain't got a mask on.
Yeah, I know, man.
So if the virus is that deadly, he would have a mask on. So apparently it's not that deadly.
Well, I mean, he kind of if you listen to him talk, man, he kind of speaks against it, and he don't pretend it is as deadly as many of them say, and they speak out against him for that.
So then he needs to go ahead and act like the commander in chief.
He can't do that himself. I mean,
and lift the restrictions.
He can't do that himself, brother. That would take an act of Congress. You see what I'm saying? See, that's the thing about a president in America.
I thought we was under the emergency.
Yeah, not really. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And even if you was on the emergency, the president couldn't do that. If you're under the emergency, that means FEMA would take over.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. I hear you.
Yeah, but that's the thing about this country. No one man is able to make a sole decision on. Think the Most High you can't, man. Can you imagine what this dude would have done already? You can only imagine what he would have done already.
Yeah.
Man. And he says it. He says it all of the time, man. Oh, I could do this, but he really can't.
Right, because he always says he's going to do this, and then he backtracks and doesn't do it.
Yeah, because he can't. He can't. He can't. But I mean, my point is that people are, they trusting in these people, and hey, man, you ever think about these people could be wrong? Just like most people right now. Let me tell you another thing, man. I don't speak out against Trump like a lot of these people do, because I can't see who would come in office that would be better than him. When you really think about it, I'm going to ask all of you so-called blacks that hate him so much and talk about how racist he is. Do you think Biden's not like that? He just conceals it better, man. They're the same party. I'm going to you something, man. He hasn't done any worse than any of the other ones that's been in office. In fact, certain things improved for some of you. If you're a veteran, you got a raise and so on and so forth. One of the biggest raises in a while. So, I mean, he may issue his racial jargon, but you can appreciate someone like that. At least he's letting you know where he's at. That's better than someone that's going to try and conceal it.
Right.
Tell you something.
Right. That is.
I'm going to tell you something.
That's being real.
If Democrats get in office, you can kiss your damn gun goodbye. Your gun rights goodbye. You could kiss that goodbye, man. Even with him in office, they've been trying to pass bill after bill after bill in gun states to deprive you of your rights, man. But you still got people screaming Democrats, and they're behind the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
Right now, just heard yesterday in the news that I think it's the United States Attorney General's suing the NRA. So they're still attacking those gun rights as we speak.
Yeah.
And if we get a Democrat, if Trump gets voted out, or after the next 4 years, whenever, as soon as the next Democrat gets in there, that's what they're going to go after. Gun rights.
They're even trying to go. They've been trying. They're
probably going to get rid of him.
To go after it. They've been trying to go after it since he's been in office. Man, if someone takes away your Second Amendment, you done, man.
Right, because that's what the Germans did to the so-called Jews. Took their guns, and it's in history. It's documented. And then came back a week later and loaded it up on trains. So history repeats itself.
People just need to wake up, man, and they stop trusting in oppression, because that's what you're doing. You're trusting in oppression. The very system that oppresses you, you trust in it. You trust in it to save you. Again, I reiterate, no one's coming to save you, man. You're only a short while out, man, before this thing really pop off, man, and it gets worse, man. No one's coming to save you, man. You have to do something for yourselves, man. You're allowing people to manipulate your mind, make you hate other people. For someone that's never done nothing to you, you hate that person. They teach you to hate people for their skin color, for whatever reason. You see what I'm saying? You're manipulated, man. You're plugged in, and you don't want to unplug. And when someone trying to unplug you, you want to fight them because you want to stay plugged in. And sadly enough, man, those are the people that's awoke is going to have to come up against, man. Those are the people that's living on the outside of the matrix are really going to have to fight against, man. Because those people are loyal to the matrix, man. That's the best kind of slave.
They're
man.
double agents.
Well, they're not agents. They're subjects. They're subjects. They're subjects. And they're
right, but, you know, strategically speaking,
they're totally against us, man.
Yeah, strategically speaking,
they're totally against us, man. And anyone that speak up for in self-defense, you're considered to be a threat, and they intend to deal with you, and they will snitch you out and dime you out. Those are the kind of people that they will use to try and set you up. They will send one of your own at you to try and set you up and destroy any kind of movement that you attempt to establish. And they will willingly do it because they hate your guts, man. They hate your guts. Yeah, man. People better wake up, man. Things are getting worse. You know, when you got, you know, when you got cops outright coming out saying they be glad when the race wars start. Yeah, you know, every time I go into a gun store, brother, you got a very, I'd say it's about 97% Edomites up in there, man, getting guns and ammo. They can't hold you in there, man. He's not there. He's gonna wait until it's too late. You know what a brother told me? Mahmoud, damn, man, why can't I get some ammo? I said, well, what do you mean why you can't get some ammo? Go to the gun store. He was like, they don't have any. I said, so you guys just sitting around waiting for the last minute, man. They stacking up, man. They stacking up on you. Better do something, man. People better wake up, man.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
Yeah, they've been stacking up, man. And then push the price of the damn ammo way up. Way up, man. Marketing. It's in high demand. Let's raise the price on it.
Right. That's
let's call inflation, man.
Well, it is inflation, but it's some type of rule they taught us in economics, but we know it's bullshit. But supply and demand. It's called the law of supply and demand. If the supply goes up, well, if the demand goes up, and then they can charge more for the supply.
Yeah, which is really evil, man.
Right. Which is just
everything they do is against the Most High, man.
Right. It's just usufruct. They don't have no real reason or no real purpose for what they're doing. They're just doing it because they want to do it. That's all. It's not right. They choose to do it.
Yeah, a sower C, you know, I hope and pray that your mom, you know, turned her life over to the Most High before she passed into the spiritual realm. You know, life is certainly uncertain these days, man. You never know what's going to happen, man. This is where we got to walk circumspectively and try and, you know, stay in the spirit. But these doctors, man, I don't trust them, man. I don't trust them at all, man. And if you sound enlightened, they don't want to deal with you, man. They don't want to deal with you, man. For real, man. If you sound man, it's kind of like, you know, that movie Matrix was a real live movie, man. Anyone that sounds awoke, man, you're a threat, man, because you have the potential to wake other people, man. And
Right.
it's a danger to them, man.
Right. And you're taking away from their sustenance. Reprobates, man. Nothing but reprobates.
Yeah, man.
MSS in Beijing.
What was that, brother?
Do you think it's an odd text to send to Chinese intelligence? It was really just about a local rapist.
I made you look like a prince on the outside.
People don't want to wake up, man. Just want to stay asleep.
Who is that with all that background noise?
They still looking for the woman. They still looking at the woman in the red dress, man. When they should be
still watching the soapbox.
I'm serious, man. I'm serious.
Still watching the soapbox.
No, man. Too many dudes are looking at the woman in the red dress, man. Instead of paying attention to what's going on around them, man. Mm-hmm. They staring at the woman in the red dress.
Exactly. You're right.
That's a distraction, man. They don't want to unplug, man. But you gotta unplug, man. No matter how much you try and reach these people, man, they don't get it. Stop looking at that woman in a red dress and pay attention, man, to what's going on right now in these times, man. We're living our prophecy right now, man.
That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
You see that? They're still part of this system, and that makes them our enemy. This is right and exact, man.
You understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged.
See that? Most people are not ready to be unplugged from this thing. That's why when I try and talk to people about secure, oh, man, I don't want to hear that stuff, man. You just try and rip people. Or they don't want to be unplugged, man. They want to stay plugged in. That's a debtor's mentality, man. The matrix is filled with debtors, man.
And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
See that? And that's what's going on, man. When you're trying to come to a lot of people like this, they want to fight to protect the system. They call you a conspiracy theorist. And what do? Who's one of the primary candidates that they're using? Eve, the woman in the red dress. They desecrated the women into harlots, man, and make them believe that they're liberated. But they don't realize that they're in the matrix also. She thinks that she's liberated, and she thinks her liberation has come about by her own accord. But she's not liberated. She's a compliant slave in a red dress.
Are you listening to me, Neil? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was, again.
See that? Hey, you better look again, man. You better look again, man. We're going to freeze it for a second, man. We'll leave you under the sounds of the voice, man. You better get your minds right, man. Wake up, man. Unplug for a second so you can see what's really going on. This is not a game. This is not a game, man.
This isn't the Matrix, no. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
So if you're not a secure party creditor, Richard, you're one of them. You're one of the debtors. And debtors love to hate. And debtors was fight to stay plugged in.
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent.
See that? That's what you were saying. That's what you were saying. You see that? They haven't unplugged, man. And most people, they haven't unplugged. And guess what, brother? They don't want to unplug. And they're potentially an agent. You know, another word for that agent is a damn snitch. That's someone that's loyal to the matrix, which is really the system.
Right.
Potentially an agent.
Inside the matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one. We have survived.
That means they're all the same.
By running from them, but they are the gatekeepers.
And they got plenty of those snitches.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to have to fight them. Someone. I won't lie to you, Neil. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed. Why? I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that,
Rules. Their world is built on rules, statutes, codes, acts. It's all an act. Their world is constructed on that, and they keep you lured into their world as a corporate construct, as an artificial entity.
they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Question is, are you ready, man? Question is, are you ready, man? We got trouble. Are you ready, man? Are you ready to face the executioners, Mahmoud? Are you ready, man? Are you ready, Phantom Art? Are you guys ready, man? Or will you stay plugged in and be a victim? Remain a debtor. A lot of people are comfortable with being uncomfortable, man. You know, being plugged into the matrix, going to work to a job they don't like. Don't you? Most people go to work. They're going to work to jobs that they don't like. They hate it. They literally hate the job. But they're just going there for the fiat currency. That's doing more damage to them than good. They literally hate their job. How many people you know?
Hate my job though, but it's a means to an end.
Right, but I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
But check this out. You don't realize how that messes with you mentally. That, you know, when you don't like something, you keep exposing yourself to it, man. That causes alignments and illnesses in your body, man. People don't realize that, man. The deep impact that has on you, man. That has a deep impact. And I'm into something, man. A lot of people, they stay on jobs and know what they say? They use that to justify being there. They keep telling themselves, I hate it. How many people you know that say, oh man, I can't wait to go to work? Unless they're in an adulterous relationship. You don't know too many people to say that. And they start committing adultery at work. They like going again for a minute until they get caught. No, I'm keeping it a buck, man. Until they get caught or until the sex becomes normal. Otherwise, it's just the opposite. When they say, oh, thank God it's Friday. Stop me where I'm lying at, man. Stop me where I'm lying at. If people love their job, why do they look so forward to the weekend? Why don't they look forward to Monday? Most people that work in the matrix and system, they hate Mondays, man. They looking forward. They start looking forward for the weekend on Monday. And when they reach Wednesday, they call it hump day. I'm almost over the hump. Now, why are you going into something that you hate so much? That's a question that all of you are going to have to answer, man. Because it can't be good for you, man. It can't be good for you. It's not healthy.
Recognition of the international court you haven't ratified either. Basically, America wants to enforce a rules-based order without belonging to it. So, stones and glass houses.
Well, what is that? I can't understand none of that. Like a foreign language.
Yeah, I couldn't make nothing out either. Just sound like somebody talking.
Foreign language, man. Yeah, man.
My bad.
Most people hate their jobs, man, but they still go in. They still do it. Why? Why do they do it? You know why? Because the job and the way that they've been raised, there's a fear that if they don't have that job anymore, they won't be able to provide. They believe they won't be able to make it. So they've been taught that they got to pretend, they got to rely on someone else in order to make it. You got to go to another man's plantation, because an employer is a slave master and an employee is a slave. You got to go to another man's plantation to make him rich. You have to make him rich, where you just make it. Some of you don't even make it off the salaries that you get, but you go in anyways because you've been taught this is what you're supposed to do. The way that the Matrix program you is that you're supposed to start working when you're 16. You go to work every day. You go to college. You get in debt that you won't pay off for your entire life with a student loan. Then you're supposed to get out of college. You're supposed to get a house. You're supposed to get married. And 50% of the time that marriage is going to end in divorce. So you end up getting divorce rate, which puts you in more debt. But you do it anyways. You know that most of those fell, but you still do it. Because that's what you've been taught is correct. But is it? Why are you doing things that you know don't work and you know that you really don't like? Because of fear. And they use that fear to control you. And peer pressure. They dumb your family down. So if you think outside of the box, your family will tell you that you're wrong. You're not supposed to do that. No, Will, no, don't do that, Will. Why don't you just be normal? Don't be a radical. No, Mahmoud, don't do that. You're not going to do that. You're going to go to work. You're going to work until you're 65. You're going to draw Social Security for 2 years. And then by that time, we've overworked your ass and you're going to die of a stroke or a heart attack. We got it all played out. So you pay Social Security most of your life, and you might get it for 3 or 4 years, and you're going to die. It's the way the cookie crumbles, man. And if you don't comply, if you don't consent, that means you're a bad person, is what they tell you. If you think outside of the matrix, don't do that. Get back online. Comply. Obey. Listen. I mean, this is what they tell us, man. This is the programming language in schools and everywhere they put into you. And it is reinforced through your family members, through the school system, through the college system, at work. It's reinforced. Joe, let me show you something, man. Let me show you something about fear, man. People, you got a boss, right? And a boss is a SOB, but that's a double SOB. So that means that's 2 of them. So a boss, he'll talk to people like they're nothing, man. He talked to them like they're nothing. And you know what you do? You eat it. You don't say nothing because you don't want to lose the job. You look over at your children and you say, I need the job. So he just bit you in front of the whole organization. And you sit there like a little boy. He took your damn manhood. You know why? Because you're nothing but a subject. And that's another name for a slave. I would never respect another man that doesn't respect me. I don't give a damn who he is. That's where
Remember the movie Dark Knight? With the character Bane in there? And the rich white man tried to tell him something?
No, I didn't watch that.
And he told him, don't think because you pay me all this money that you're in charge. And the dude got punked. The rich man.
Yeah, Dangerous Slave. Yeah, you're correct. But I mean, that's part of the plan of the deep state, of the global elite. That's another divide and conquer tactic to control you. But people comply.
That's because they use money as a fortress.
Well, you still have a choice. Ultimately, in everything, we not have a choice. This is what I think, man. And this is what I know.
Testing ground.
This is what I know through experience.
We're living in a testing ground.
This is what I know through experience. Anything that you want to do,
you can do.
But
there's a cost.
That's easily said, right? But you first have to believe that. You have to believe it. Because I'm living proof, man. And anything that you want to do and you believe it, you could do it. So the first enemy and the greatest enemy that you ever going to have to overcome
is yourself.
It's the enemy within. It's that.
Yeah, that's what I figured out. I figured that out.
Oh, so why are you still working for the system then? You figured out. What are you still working for? You like your job?
I do.
Okay.
Because
I don't understand what it's about that. If you like where you are, if you like the job that you're working on, working for someone else, that means you're willing to accept mediocrity.
No, once
See, this is what I know. This is what I figure out.
Once my package goes through, I don't want to say no more than that. You know what I'm working on.
This is what I figured out a long time ago, brother. As long as we work, whoever we work for, that is a slave master. Think about it. At work, the man that's in charge or the woman that's in charge of you, they could tell you when you use your bathroom. They could tell you when you were to take a lunch break. They're going to tell you when to eat like a damn child. They tell you when you could go on vacation. How many people submitted something for vacation? They said, no, you can't go right now. So someone else, we need you in the office. That's how the system works. And you know what they tell us? That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to comply. But hold on, wait a minute. And then if you don't comply, you know what they tell you? They're threatening you with being fired, man. I didn't like living like that, man. It was never for me, man. I always had a problem with that kind of authority when it was wicked and unjust. And the system is wicked and unjust, man. Let's just keep it a real, man. Like when you have someone looking over your shoulder, telling you when you could go to the bathroom, telling you when you could take a vacation, it's slavery, man. And people fear it. And a lot of people, sometimes the way, because I've seen it, brother. I've seen how some of these employers talk to some of these people, man. These subordinates. And they sit there and won't say nothing. Let me think about this, man. How in the hell can you justify this, right? You're a man, right? You're married. You got an employer that sit there and curse you the hell out. And you wouldn't say nothing because you worried about getting fired, right? Now, how in the hell are you going to go home and act like a man to your wife when you got another man talking to you like you're a little sissy? That happens every day, man. It happens all the time because they took dead president and they made it a god.
And people get assaulted all the time and charges never get pressed again.
That happened to me. I was assistant chief, and one of my subordinates was being disrespectful and rude, not only to me but other employees. So when I spoke about it, he's Caucasian, of course. I ended up getting administrative process taken against me, and then next thing I know, I'm getting fired. So it happens all the time.
Yeah. Hey, Phantom, you said a business takes very, very difficult the same time owning a business. Well, it depends on if you really know how to run a business. See, here's a problem right here. When most people think business, Phantom, you're thinking the system. You're thinking the system and you want to play by their rules. So it's the same thing. You're subject to the same taxes and so on and so forth. That's still being a part of the matrix. You got to pull the plug, man. See, people want to they want to just step outside of the matrix, but they want to stay plugged in. Your extension cord is only going to run so long, man. Your extension cord's only going to run so you want them benefits, man. Don't you know have people Tazadaq, yeah, I want to be a secure party credit, but can I keep my Social Security? Can I keep my government benefits? I said, listen, man, don't message me again until you're ready, because you heard me say that in videos. I don't know if they be just testing me or what, man. You heard me say it in videos again and again, man.
I think they're testing you.
They want to hold on to those benefits, man.
Yeah, trying to get you to slip up or something. I don't know, man.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
But they don't want us to break away, man. And this is why, you see how people like Phantom Arts is saying it's difficult to own your own business. This is the primary reason we need our own land, our own crops, our own resources. Then it's easy to own our own businesses. You got that skill. You might be a mechanic. Hey, I need my car fixed. I'm going to Mahmoud. Hey, I need this built. I might be going to Richard. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You got someone in the community that has all of the skills that we need.
Right.
Everybody don't want to do that though.
Plumbers, everybody's got their own little specialty.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that. They're too afraid. And I'm gonna hit you something, man. When it first started off, you may not live. Oh man, because you're gonna be just like those children of Israel out in the wilderness. Damn, man, I should have stayed in New York.
No, you're gonna have to learn a trade, do something.
They're not gonna.
You got to do something. You got to have some type of job. So
they're gonna give up and want to go back because they're just like Lazarus.
It's easier to do that.
Just like Lazarus, man, in the Bible. Like Lazarus in the Bible, Lazarus, he fell in love with the rich man's lifestyle. Lazarus, right? He fell in love with the rich man's lifestyle. You're the same way. You want to live like them. And you don't want to give that up, man. So you just like those children of Israel out in the wilderness. Sit you on, man. But you're going to have to do something, man, or the executioners, you might be the next stop.
Yeah.
And the executioners are all over, not just in California. They just go by a different name.
Man, there's too many brothers out there, man. That shouldn't even be happening. Executions.
Yeah. A lot of things shouldn't occur that does, man, but it kind of shows you about the people when it's time to unify.
Yeah, they need to get it together down there in California. They need to come together.
I mean, not just California, man. It's anyway. These curses are horrendous, man.
The black people, we get with the Mexicans, we get with the Asiatics. We outnumber them. But we got to come together. Stand as one.
People better wake up, man. The hour's drawing near. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Stefan the Don? What are you going to do, Phantom Arts? You're gonna do artwork, huh? Until this thing pop up. Do something, man. Time is now to do something, man. The time is now. Hey, whoa, the infliction of commerce, did you order that from me? Hey, Stefan said he's unplugged, man.
Oh, he's SPC?
Yeah, that's that's more of a mind state, man. A lot of people, not saying him, but you'll be surprised, man, how many people file documents.
You know, I'm trying to get there, but Mahmoud is like a moniker, if you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep my real name private until I disconnect. Keep it out to public.
Well, man, that's all I got. If no one else has anything else, man, I'm gonna be closing this down, man. But you guys, what's going on, Fred? What's going on, Fred? You got anything you want to bring out, Fred? What about you, Will? Got anything you want to bring out? Are you still at work? Things are getting worse, man. They're not getting better, man. People better stop talking, man. People just sitting around, man. They're entertained by YouTube, man. People don't want to do anything. They just want to sit around and watch stuff. It's like entertainment for them. They don't realize this is affecting real life.
I hope
nope, they don't
realize before it's too late and get it together.
They just sit around and talk, man. It feels good to them, man. You know what I mean? But they really don't want to do nothing. You're telling yo, let's do something, man. Let's join. We created the anti-police brutality commandos, man. Join us, man. Let's make a difference. Oh yeah, I'll join. Then they never show up. They don't want to do anything, man. Just that talk feels good to them, man. Feels good to their ears. It's like they go into an imaginary world when people.
People scared, man. You have to understand.
Wow, man.
For a long time, you live in one way, and to change that way to something else, they're just scared. They're afraid. You know.
Yeah. No, when you tell them about APBC, they just so yeah, we need that, and then they just vanish like you never met them before.
Yep.
I got I went on your website and got the infliction of commerce.
But I would have to have actually mailed it to you if you ordered it from the website. Unless
I don't got it yet. I'm just saying I just purchased it. That's what I mean.
All right.
Just done it. Yeah. Con.
All right.
But
no. I get all kind of crazy emails, man.
I saw a video today where Jeffrey was talking about with a missile hitting the building.
Yeah.
That's some crazy stuff.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah. On a different angle. They actually showed it where this thing from the sky, a missile, Right into it. I'll send the link later on my computer. Because Trump just said that was a violent attack. That's the first thing he said.
Yeah, Trump, he's saying, America's on standby and so on and so forth. But it's interesting, man.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. And that place is suspicious, man, of America, and Israel, because Israel said that they, Israel has literally had a lot of differences with that particular country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, so they don't trust them. You know what I mean? They
I
don't
don't
trust
trust.
Israel.
I don't trust those Israelis for nothing.
Yeah, I mean that. That could have very well been a stage attack, man. Just it's more going on here than meets the eye.
Yeah.
They're
trying to.
What's being exposed.
Yeah, they're trying to put everybody in fear, so everybody will turn to the government for protection.
And so now, man, as a result, you got thousands of people that's homeless, man.
They don't care
Thousands.
about that. They don't care about that.
But I mean, yeah, they don't care about it, but it's almost like, someone planned it that way. I mean, think about this, man. That explosion was felt 140 miles away, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
140 miles away.
Calm.
Yeah, it was deep. It went into the ocean. It was deep.
That was a tactical nuke, man.
Yeah, it was. To show you the hole, it's a hole and the whole area of the land is gone.
Yeah, the before and after pictures is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, so what you got to think about is who could actually be able to believe that, oh, well, you just had something in a warehouse and it caused an explosion that big? And no one, come on, man.
Nah, man.
Something's not right there, man.
I mean, you see, for the 1 or 2 of us who are trained in certain fields, we know what an explosion is, and we know what is a natural disaster is. And a natural disaster, you will find some form of remaining standing. Part of the buildings will still remain standing, because there's no way it can blow up and the whole building will disintegrate. It's impossible. Part of the building will still stand. In my line of work, I know this for a fact. You can never destroy a whole building naturally unless you use explosive, and that whole building is gone. Vamos, adios, gone, with a hole in the ground. Even the land is disappeared, and we know an explosion come upwards; it does not go down. Because all the oxygen and air is above, not underneath. So for it to go into the earth like that and leave a hole, nah, man. Nah, ain't that stupid. That was a missile. Yep. And a mushroom cloud like that? Come on, not even fire, a mushroom cloud?
It's crazy because the sound, you don't hear the sound till later, but you see that thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a delay like that in real explosion. I've done that before.
Yeah, but it's just like at that
Like
level, I never seen something.
Natural explosion or controlled? Control is different. Control, you destroy everything. Natural, there's always some part remaining.
Yeah. I saw the slow-mo. It's like the building, all those buildings around it turn into dust.
Yeah. And Tazadaq said 100 and something miles away, felt it. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. They're just wicked and evil people, man.
Yeah, this
They have
world. I
no,
mean, come on, man. And they think about it, man. They killing children and all that with no remorse. Don't
not even
care.
thinking. They don't care, man. Young, old, male, female, they don't care. They're just murdering everybody for no reason. And then they want to talk about the law. All right. Goes around, comes around. Man, I remember I was in New York when those Twin Towers came down. And my eyes was almost full of tears when I see people jumping out the building. Because they had two choices: stay in the building and burn to death, or jump out and be killed when they hit the ground. You know? That's messed up. That's really messed up. So you gotta choose how you're gonna die. And both ways is terrible and painful.
Yeah. Yeah, but that fire, man, that fire is so hot because with that kind of fire burnt from an explosion and fuel, it's hotter than regular fire. So that's what really made them jump, man. It's so painful, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That
But
heat,
that's
man.
alone proof.
Just want to get
That's
away from
alone proof. That it was not a natural fire. That alone proved that it was a natural fire. You know? Because again, in my line of work, we have fire suppression systems throughout the buildings. So once that sprinkler pipe bursts, that fire pump is pumping at least 250 gallons of water per minute. So that's more than enough water to quench any natural fire. But there was not one sprinkler system came on. Even with that building in Beirut, where was this? Had to be some kind of fire system gotta come on to help quench the fire. Ah, man. There's a lot of stuff goes into a commercial building for it to operate and run. And to tell me a fire gonna melt steel, hell's no. It gotta be explosive. To blow up like that, it gotta be explosive.
Hey, Will, I see you donated 2 times. Is one of those for a shirt?
Con for the APPC. APPC.
Brothers, shalom, I got it done. Peace and blessings.
All right, brother.
Shalom.
That'll probably go out Monday since tomorrow the Shabbat. Wait, Xavier, what you got, man? What are you talking about, Xavier? Hey, you hear me, Will?
Yeah, con. That T-Doc shirt came in pretty fast though, so probably be here by. If you send it out Monday, it'll probably be here by.
Yeah, send it 2-day mail, 2 to 3 days, whatever. You know what I mean, yeah.
Probably be in by Wednesday.
Yeah. So I mean, if no one else got anything else, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Xavier said race is a myth. Yeah, but to the deep state, it's a reality that they get people to play into. So yeah, man, I'm gonna say shalom. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, man. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Unless someone else got something else, maybe I post the link one more time, see if anyone got anything. If not, We'll say have a good evening. But there's a link if someone else want to come in and speak. There it is. I appreciate you. Hey, Mahmoud, have you started working on your packet yet? Mahmoud. He left. Seems still on the call though. Emails just be stacking up, man. So yeah, no one else got anything else, man. I'm gonna say, hey, Shalom, Rick. You got anything, Ricky? You got anything you want to put down, Ricky? Now's your opportunity, Rick. Click on the link. Come in, man. Haven't seen you for a minute. Come on in, talk that talk, Ricky. Talk that talk, man.
I got a couple questions, Ricky. I got a couple of questions, Ricky D.
No questions, man. Hey, David, what you got, man? Talk that talk. It takes him like 5 minutes to get in the room, man. David's been in the background, man.
God, he ain't been on in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, because you have people insulting him, man, and attacking him, man.
Yeah, we can't be doing that to our brother. Ricky just be trying to tell us what we need to do.
David, you coming in or what, man? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, man. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, man. If you ain't here, we can go ahead and shut it down, David.
No background noise, David.
That goes without saying, man.
I think after I get this Affliction of Commerce, I'm gonna just hop straight into the unplug. You think that's a good idea, or you think there's better
Yeah,
steps?
All the books have like different information, so it don't really matter. But that book has a lot of remedies in it. The plug, but all the books are really good, man, for real.
Cool.
David, you coming in? There he is. He appears. David, the floor is yours, man.
Shalom, David.
David, what do you think about the executioners in California? The deputies is going around beating the crap out of people. They're almost killing them. Okay, here it is.
That's all right. If I was panicking, I would probably be doing the same thing. Now, here's what you do. If you want to fight an enemy that you can't see, you have to fight him with something you can't see. Now, this is what you do. You use the ruach. Now, you have to come into his presence. You have to agree with what you don't know how to do it, but you also don't know what's happening to you. So many are called, but few are chosen. Now, you're called for a reason. You didn't see the person that's calling you, well, which is the ruach, which is Yahweh Shai, who has a father named Yahweh. So what we need to do to turn this around, now look, I had a chance to do it. I failed. So, maybe you might not want to take my advice. But this is what I would do. I would use what is that scripture, Kahan, where it says, We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of the air. All right. So this is what we have to use. You know, I was afraid of the anti-police brutality commandos. I was like,
David, you're talking about Ephesians 6:12 to 13. Ephesians 6:12 to 13. You asked me a precept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at my Bible. My Bible is in my bug out bag.
Yeah, that's Ephesians 6:12 to 13. But go ahead.
Yeah. It is written. Have you not heard? See, this is what these kinds of scriptures mean. You need to be born again. Instead of just being all pissed off and just going out there, you know, and being like one of them smashing people. So our battle again is against principalities. Now I know we see, you know, our brothers getting mowed down, you know, and we see our innocent mothers and their, you know, oldest daughter and 2 kids in a van, and they put them all on the street. It's a good thing I don't own a gun yet. It's a good thing because I'd be dead. I'd already been dead. And that's part of my testimony. If it wasn't for Yahushua, I would have been dead. Now stop me where I'm lying. All right, so it isn't that difficult to come into the presence of the Ruach. It just isn't. You know, because he was here before you and he got your attention. So, you know, all of a sudden you can't figure it out. And so the Ruach probably isn't the problem. But I tell you what, if the deceiver can get Adam and Eve and they're right there in the presence of God around about 6:30, you know, like the Khan is trying to teach us about the Sabbath day and when it starts. Okay, so he can get you too. But so can the Ruach. To get you, all you have to do is listen. And it's going to be different than what you're doing. Now, calm down. He gave you something to do. You're probably already doing it. It's just you just have to give him the credit for it, and I can prove it. The Bible says that anything you ask in my son's name, I'll give you.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. So, you know, I mean, I know
that
you're
talk.
new. I know you're young.
Talk that talk.
Oh, yeah. I love him. I love him. He spends time with me. I don't know why. I didn't ask. He just showed up, and he keeps showing up. You should hear me. If I'm not making any noise down here under the influence of the Ruach, my neighbors will call me and say, hey, we haven't heard from you in the last couple of days. And you could do it too, because that's what the Ruach is here for. All you have to do is something else. Whatever you're doing is not working. And it usually has something to do with hate and anger and, you know, disappointment, all those negative words. Now you start using them positive words. And you start giving Yahweh the credit that is due him, that he's going to transfer you to his a son called Yahushua, and he's going to test you or cut you with his word. It's sharper than a two-edged sword. So if you're not reading that Bible, you're not going to make it. And then the Yahushua will turn you over to the Ruach. And the Ruach will visit you. Now, here's the problem. When you're under the influence of the Ruach, you should be laughing. You see all this destruction, all of this, everything. I saw the video. I knew it was an atomic attack. Yeah, because I'm old enough. I saw what the atomic test looked like. I knew as soon as I seen the mushroom cloud. But the Ruach is trying to help you be in the world, but not of it. Now, I feel bad for all them people. I'm telling you right now. I can't watch things, and I'm too sensitive. I don't even like myself. I get on my own nerve. Why are you so sensitive? Nobody's bothering you. Okay, so, all right, so here's what you do. Ask the Ruach to help you. That's what he does. He's a helper. Yeah, I must go, but I will send you a comforter. He will help you. He will lead you and guide you into all understanding. And I'm telling you right now, the Ruach doesn't lead and guide us to destruction. Oh, all right. So, the Bible also says is, come and enter into my joy. Now, if you think there's no laughing going on, and if you're enjoying something, so, you know, this is how you know the Ruach is taking over. You're going to laugh more. I mean, you know, you're not going to be insensitive to, you know, people getting killed. And people got killed. I'm not blind. So, but the Ruach wants to be, you know, the Ruach. He doesn't know how to be anything else. And he won't be anything else with you than, you know, other than what he is. He's love. He's leading you and he's guiding you into great and wonderful things that you need to know. Now, so that means you don't already know it. All right. So I don't want to be, I'm convoluted. I'm Kahan. I know that when I get on these little things, I'm telling you all right now, I'm sweating under my arms.
Talk that talk, Ricky. Talk that talk.
Trying to reach.
Let them know, Ricky.
Okay,
You gotta let
them
know.
Now.
You gotta let them know, Ricky. You haven't been on
Yeah.
Talk that talk. You gotta tell them about.
Oh
the
yeah.
war.
Now. Okay. Now here's I'll tell you exactly why I haven't been on. Because I've been listening to you young people. Yeah, see, you have to understand the young people are going to take over. The Kahan is here. Tazadaq, I'm sorry. Tazadaq is here. But you young ones are going to take over. Now, you young people who are here, you're already leaders. You're just coming in here for instructions, just to find another way to say something to the same old people. That's it. That's all I've ever done. You know, when I was growing up, you know, they asked me, you know, my family members, you know, I love them. Why do you give all your money to the church? They asked me that. But I put it to you like this. I'm one of my few family members that got money right now. Now stop me where I'm lying. All right, so you guys and you ladies are being called, and you're just coming over the Kahan. You're coming, you know, along with the Kahan, and he's going to cut and he's going to prune. But he does that because you're fruitful, because you're, you know, good works, your fruitful works and stuff like that. There, that's what you are. Now, I apologize for anybody who didn't have enough sense to recognize the blessing that's on you and how much you care for them. You know, okay, now I'll just leave that with that. All right, so let me conclude with this. If you listen to the Kahan, you'll find out that he's a prophet. Because the Bible says that you can prove a prophet by his fruits. Now, tell me anybody on here that didn't be fruitful because of, you know, listening to him. I've been fruitful. And plus, I had my own ministry. I spend most of the times that he's on, I spend listening to him. Plus, I got my own ministry. And that's only the Ruach does that. You know, look at it like this. This is what the Bible says. Man has not told you that, but the Holy Spirit or the Ruach. I mean, I'm just trying to read it, from memory. All right, so the things that you're doing, you are blessed to do, you're gifted to do, and, basically don't worry about it. Just do and say what the Ruach is telling you. Now, it is written that in that hour, the Ruach will tell you what to say. Now, I'm just going to give you, one more story. I know I get on people's nerve because I tell stories. And hey, that's how I learned. So, I don't know what you expect me to do. All right, now, this is how the Holy Spirit broke down his time that he spends with me. It takes 10 to 15 minutes to concentrate and focus on the message that the Ruach is giving you in that hour. Forget the rest of your life. In that hour, it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to concentrate and focus on what he got you to do. Now, this is when you're moving further with the Ruach. You're going to laugh for 10 to 15 minutes because the things that he shows you are so clear. Now, I'm just calling it laughing. It for you could be joy. What did Philip say when they were getting ready to stone him? Hey, can't you see him? He's right there. And I'm sure he was smiling. All right. And then it takes you 10 to 15 minutes to calm down, to get this joy under control. And then it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to try to write the vision down. So there you go. There's your hour right there. Okay, so that's the message that I have, and I'll ask a couple questions. But I'll tell you something. If you're going to ask me a question, and if you're going to lead me, I'm going to do what the Kahan taught, or suggested, or coached. You might as well forget about leading me. I'm already following a leader. I'm already following the Ruach. Okay, so, all right, so let's give this a shot. Is there anyone that has a question?
No, David, you answer all my questions.
Okay, yeah, see, the Holy Spirit does that because I didn't know what I was going to say. And I actually wrote Peace Kings, which is my signature on the YouTube videos, but the Khan tricked me. He didn't in the video. So he got me to put my name on there. That's how he pulled me up. I know him. He ain't coming over my house. I did, and I have to look on my cell phone to find out his phone number. I'm not a leader in this ministry. You just might as well forget it. But I'll support this ministry because I see these young people reading this Bible. And hey, it worked for me. It's going to work for you. So we can do one of the, again, one of the reasons why I'm talking now, because I thought the Kahan was going to end in session. It got me good. I love this man. He's very, very, he's a genius. And I can't understand why he has that much patience, because I tell you what, I don't have no patience. I got 14 grandkids. I got enough patience for 14 of them jokers. Then I got to go to work. I got patience for those people. But here's what you have to understand, young people. You can't do what the Ruach is asking you to do and created you to do if you don't say nothing. What is the point of you learning it? Okay, you got it. And then what do? Move on to the next lesson? No. When he teaches you something, you got to say something. I mean, he said something. on the first day of creation, the Lord said, let there be light. And the rock moved and breathed over the land. He responded. Now he already knew, with the Father, he and the Father in one, blah, blah, blah. I hate those rabbit trails. So, all right, so this is what we need you to do. Now, remember, we already went over in that hour, the Holy Spirit will teach you what to say. So, the key word here is say. So you have to speak. Now, there's something about your tone. See, if you listen to Tazadaq, he has the same tone. It's just a straight tone. Now, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach, continually talks, continually. There's something about when you're talking that reaches people, not your words. There's that just keeps going, and it's your tone. I'm speaking these words, and I don't know where they're going. All right, so kind of look at the Ruach like that. So. Are there any other questions? Because I sweated this shirt out in this little 10 or 15 minutes that I'm sharing with you people. Now, calm down. I live among my own people. I have no need of anything. So if you ever hear me say you people and you look at her bad, well, I can't help you. My son told me once, when he was a teenager, he came into the house and he said, you know what? Blacks don't stick together. Now, this is what the Ruach could do for you. I just looked at him. I didn't know what he was upset about. He just wasn't mad at me. He's coming in the house with his attitude. And the Ruach just gave me this answer. Well, where did you eat at today? And a soft answer turns away wrath. If you're going to get upset and, let's just really get you. Now, I'm telling you right now, this hurts me to see these two ladies and these two kids laying on the ground. Now, stop me where I'm lying. And the best thing I could come up with is, thank you, Yahweh, that I'm not God.
Why not? Say that part.
Oh, okay. Well, if I had seen them do that, and if I was God, they would just be gone. Because we are a chosen people. And this is why they are afraid of us. This is why they, get us unarmed. You don't have to be armed. You're a chosen one. You got the Holy Spirit, you got the Ruach, you got Yahweh Shai, and you got the Father on your side. Or you could kind of look at it like this. David's father sent him to the battlefield to carry some sandwiches to his brothers. Now, they had swords and they had, chariots and spears and stuff like that there. But when David showed up, this is what you're doing. You look like David. And when he heard that giant say, you people, blah, blah, blah. David said, I come to you in the name of the Lord. See, that's where you want to be. You want to be right there. And that's what you're doing. You're coming to people in the name of the Lord. And check this out. You only got 6 rocks in a slingshot. Now, you're young. You may be tall. You may be short. But he was clearly a giant. And he got him with 1 stone. This is what you're doing. Don't stop. Don't babysit people. Don't babysit the word. Don't nurture the word. Let the Ruach use you and keep it moving, just like our brother did. Now stop me where I'm lying. Yeah, he kept it moving right until the point where he ascended.
Ricky, by the way,
Yes.
man, you've used that aphorism so much, probably more than me. I personally sent you one of my "Stop Me Where I'm Lying At" shirts for free.
Oh, thanks. Okay, now let me tell you something.
I'm
When
serious.
a
Have a stop
blessed
sign.
man
Just stop
gives
me
you
where I'm lying on it.
yeah. Let me tell you something. When a blessed man gives you something, see, man didn't tell him to do it. Did any of y'all call him and say, hey, you need to give I'm David a free shirt? No, because he tells you all the time, hey, I got these shirts. You want to make your donations? Now, why am I going to get one free? The Ruach did that. And this is where you want to be. You want to follow the Ruach. You want to get blessings. Now, let's go over this again. Just so you know, I overtalk stuff. Always overtalk stuff. I have my own ministry. I talk to people at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get loud. When that Ruach hits me, you just might as well forget it. Now, I live in an apartment building, and ain't nobody banging on the walls. The police ain't knocking on my door talking about I'm disturbing the peace because of the Ruach. If you can, don't, try to, reach the limit that I'm at or, whatever level I'm at. Just listen to him. He loves you. He's not going to help you. The Kahan never said one thing that hurt me. Not one thing. Now, he said things to cut me. Because he used the word of Yahweh, which is sharper than any two-edged sword. But he never called me no names. He never, blah, blah, blah. So he'll do the same for you. You're in the right spot. Just keep it going. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry. But here's one thing I did that wonder if any of the people who are in the Tazadaq, environment and stuff like that, there, or any of you past preachers or pastors or teachers and evangelists. So you could help the new people. However you do it, let the Ruach work it out. While we are absent one from another, let the Lord decide between me and thee. But you have to speak up. It doesn't work if you don't speak. Okay, so anyway, is there anything else that I can do? Anything else I can say? Because I would be trying to get off these calls. Or any questions? All right, thank you.
All right. So, with that, we're going to say shalom. Thank everyone for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shabbat's coming in pretty soon. So I'll say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Come on, Shabbat Shalom.